Did you know that when she abruptly ends things, or even just leaves you on read after pulling away, your brain lights up on an MRI scanner in the exact same place as if someone literally just punched you in the chest?
Yeah, the physical pain you feel is not a metaphor. I mean, it is a neurological reality.
Right. And imagine doing everything quote-unquote right in the aftermath of that. You stay cordial, you keep the lines of communication open, you try to be the mature, understanding, nice guy.
Which is what society tells you to do, by the way.
Exactly. So you swallow your pride, you listen to her reasons, you maybe even agree to stay friends. And yet, sitting there in the aftermath, you still feel like you're losing.
Oh, totally. You feel completely drained.
Yeah, drained, disrespected, and stuck in this agonizing limbo. But what if the absolute best move you can make, the one that actually reclaims your power, your sanity, and ironically your attractiveness, is the one you're most afraid of?
Completely walking away.
Unapologetically walking away.
It's the move that terrifies most men because it feels so, final. We are conditioned by movies, by pop culture, and by a lot of really bad advice to believe that if we just stick around, if we just explain ourselves one more time, we can fix it.
Like we can logically argue our way back into being desired.
Exactly. But what's fascinating here, and what we see constantly in behavioral psychology, is that the modern dating landscape actively punishes that kind of lingering availability.
It really does.
Walking away isn't just a tactic to get a reaction. It is a fundamental assertion of your own biological and psychological boundaries.
And if you're a guy listening to this right now, this is for you. If you have ever found yourself stuck in a situationship, or spinning your wheels after a breakup, or just dealing with the endless games of modern dating, we are deconstructing exactly why this happens and how you navigate it.
We have to break down why pulling your...
Like, what is literally happening to your nervous system when things end?
And we'll look at the psychology of why people regret their decisions months later.
Right, and confront some very harsh truths about the economics of the modern dating market.
Because if we connect this to the bigger picture, men are increasingly looking at the mechanics of dating and just, opting out of dynamics that don't serve them.
Yeah, and the reaction to that, the frustration we observe when men simply refuse to engage in the drama, is incredibly revealing.
It shows us exactly where the real power lies. And it always lies with the person who is not afraid to lose the connection.
Always. Let's start with the foundation. Because before you can fix your external behavior with women, before you can text the right thing or set the right boundary, you have to understand exactly what is happening inside your own brain.
Right. The biology of the breakup.
A guy goes through a split or even just a harsh rejection from someone he was deeply invested in, and he feels like he is dying. His chest actually hurts. He can't sleep. He can't focus at work. His appetite is completely gone. And society usually just tells him, hey man, cheer up, plenty of fish in the sea.
Which is incredibly insulting.
It's so insulting because it completely ignores the physical reality of what he's experiencing.
It's totally dismissive of a genuine biological crisis.
Yeah.
When a man goes through heartbreak, his brain experiences something that identically mirrors withdrawal from a hardcore substance.
Wow, really?
Yeah, romantic attachment, especially when you are deeply invested, activates the brain's dopamine reward system. This is the exact same neurological system involved in addiction.
That makes so much sense.
Every text you got from her, every touch, every shared laugh, even just the anticipation of seeing her, that was a hit of dopamine. You're being biologically conditioned.
So to your nervous system, she is literally the drug.
She became the external regulator of your dopamine. So when the relationship abruptly ends, or when she pulls away and goes cold, that dopamine source is cut off instantly.
Your dopamine levels just crash.
They crack hard. But the brain doesn't just sit there peacefully. In response to this sudden chemical vacuum, your body is flooded with cortisol, which is the primary stress hormone. Right. This isn't just an emotional phase that you can journal your way out of. That cortisol spike causes massive physical symptoms.
It's diverting blood flow, right? That's why guys get that hollow feeling in their stomach.
Exactly. Cortisol is designed for the fight or flight response. From an evolutionary standpoint, if you were abandoned by your tribe or your partner thousands of years ago, your survival was literally at risk.
You were going to die in the wilderness.
Right, so your brain pumps out cortisol to keep you hyper alert. That's why you are wide awake at 3 a.m. staring at the ceiling.
Yeah, I've been there, just staring at the fan spinning.
We all have. The brain is saying, we are in danger, do not sleep. It diverts blood away from the digestive tract, which kills your appetite.
That's why you can't eat a thing for days.
Yeah. The brain experiences emotional pain through the exact same neural pathways that process physical pain, specifically via the vagus nerve, which connects the brain to the heart and the gut.
Wow.
That is why men literally say their chest is hurting.
It's like someone pulled the plug on the power grid in your brain, and the backup generator is just pumping out pure panic.
That's a great way to put it.
And this leads to what is incredibly dangerous for a man's mindset, the identity threat.
Yes, the spiral.
This is where the psychological spiral starts. I've seen guys do this. I mean, I've been there myself in my younger years. The brain just starts interrogating itself.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, why wasn't I good enough? What did he have that I don't? Was I not making enough money? Was I not in good enough shape?
Right. How do I make sure this never happens to me again?
Exactly. The pain demands an explanation.
Precisely. Because the brain is an incredibly efficient problem-solving machine. It is designed to solve problems to avoid future pain. Under immense pressure, it searches for control. And when a woman walks away, you have zero control over her.
None at all.
So the identity threat forces you to look at the only thing you do have control over yourself. The breakup forces a man to confront a terrifying question that most people spend their whole lives avoiding. Who am I without this external validation? If she was the mirror I hate to see myself as a successful, desirable man, and that mirror is gone, do I even exist?
Right, it's an ego death. And this perfectly explains the whole post-breakup gym phenomenon.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost a meme at this point. Guy gets dumped. Guy immediately hits the squat rack, starts drinking protein shakes, and completely changes his physique.
But it's not just a joke for TikTok. It is profound biological reconstruction.
Break that down.
Well, the fastest way a man can regain a sense of control in a chaotic and painful situation is through his physical body, his environment, and his discipline.
Right.
Hitting the gym, starting that business you've been putting off, organizing your finances. These aren't just cliches or distractions.
They're survival mechanisms.
Yes. This is the brain desperately trying to create brand new dopamine pathways.
Yeah.
You are literally rewiring your reward system to associate self-improvement and internal discipline with the dopamine hit, rather than getting that hit from a relationship.
I love this because it totally changes the framework. Think about it like an engine blowing out on the highway at 80 miles an hour.
Okay, yeah.
A lot of guys think they can just pull over, slap some emotional duct tape on it, send her a long text apologizing for whatever, buy some flowers, and the car will run again.
Right.
But the car is dead. You have to take the engine out, put it on a stand, and completely rebuild it piece by piece.
That is a phenomenal analogy because it highlights the necessity of the breakdown.
Yeah.
The pain literally forces an identity reconstruction. It forces you to become the man you were likely avoiding becoming when things were comfortable.
Comfort is a killer.
Comfort is the enemy of progress. And nothing shatters comfort quite like the withdrawal of romantic validation. You have to rebuild the engine to handle a much higher horsepower moving forward.
But let me challenge this for a second. Because a lot of guys hear this and think, okay, cool, I'm gonna hit the gym, I'm gonna get a massive revenge body, I'm gonna buy a new wardrobe, and I'm gonna make her so insanely jealous when she sees my Instagram stories.
Yeah, we see that all the time.
Right. Is that the wrong frame? I mean, if the motivation is just to make her regret it, doesn't that mean she still holds all the cards?
It is completely the wrong framework.
Yeah.
And if it's strictly for revenge, it ultimately fails to protect you.
Why is that?
If your entire drive in the gym is fueled by a desire to get her attention back, you haven't actually shifted the dopamine pathway. You are still outsourcing your validation to her. You're just using a barbell as the middleman.
Wow. You're using the barbell as the middleman. That is a really dangerous trap.
It is. You are essentially saying, I am going to work this hard just so you will approve of me again.
Which means she's still the drug.
Exactly. And what happens if she doesn't care? What happens if you post the photo and she doesn't like
You
it?
crash again.
The dopamine crashes all over again. True transformation, the kind that makes you undeniably magnetic and grounded, happens when the brain genuinely associates the action of leveling up with a reward.
Internal validation.
Yes. The goal isn't to show her what she missed. The goal is to level up so far past her that you no longer care what she missed.
That's the shift.
You do it because the pain demanded that a weaker version of you had to die. You do it to become a man who does not rely on external validation to know his own worth.
And once a man actually goes through that internal shift, once that biological reconstruction takes hold, his external behavior changes drastically.
It has to.
And this is where it gets really interesting in modern dating. Because the very first thing to go when a man levels up and reclaims his baseline is his tolerance for games.
Oh, absolutely. It drops to zero.
He just doesn't have the energy for it anymore. He's not going to sit around analyzing a cryptic text message for 3 hours.
Right.
Which brings us to perhaps the most controversial, hotly debated move a man can make right now. The block.
Yes. The definitive removal of digital and physical access.
Let's unpack this sassy accusation because it is wild how common this is. You go on social media, you talk to people in the dating market, and there is this highly common narrative where women get deeply, profoundly offended when a man blocks them.
They hate it.
They really do. Say they break up, or maybe she just strings him along in the friend zone, playing with his time, so he finally just blocks her on Instagram, TikTok, her phone number, everything.
Yeah.
Suddenly, she is everywhere, calling him pathetic, weak, feminine, or sassy. You hear the argument all the time, if he doesn't care, why not just mute me? Just don't look at my page. Blocking is crazy. It's so dramatic.
What's fascinating here is why it bothers them to that extreme degree.
Right. Why the huge reaction?
We have to look at this objectively. It has absolutely nothing to do with the mechanics of the app itself. It has everything to do with the loss of access and the abrupt end to the validation loop. When someone is playing games, perhaps they are juggling attention from multiple options, keeping a few people in the friend zone for ego boosts, keeping an ex on a hook, just in case the new guy doesn't work out a block, is a checkmate.
A total checkmate.
It shatters the entire board.
Because she can no longer play you against someone else.
Exactly. The merry-go-round stops. She can't passively post a story specifically designed to see if you will watch it.
Oh, the trap stories.
Yeah. She can't send a breadcrumb text at 11:00 p.m. when she's bored, just to verify that you will still respond.
Right.
By blocking her, you are unilaterally declaring, the fun and games are over, the audience is closed, and you don't get to spectate my life anymore.
But hold on, if I block her, doesn't that just scream to the world that I'm fragile? Society, and a lot of dating advice, tells us that the ultimate alpha move is to be a stoic stone wall.
Which is completely misunderstood.
Because the argument is, look, if you block me, it just proves you're bothered. It proves I'm under your skin. A real man wouldn't care. He'd just leave me unblocked, ignore my stories, and go about his day.
Right. And honestly, a lot of guys fall for this. They leave the ex unblocked because they want to project this image of being completely unaffected, even though seeing her post a picture at a bar on a Friday night is slowly destroying their peace of mind and spiking their cortisol all over again.
And that is a massive, incredibly common psychological trap. That argument, that blocking means you're bothered, is a manipulation tactic.
Wow.
It's a shaming tactic designed to keep the window of access open. Let's dismantle this completely using the biology we just discussed. Blocking isn't about proving how unbothered you are to her.
This is huge.
That is the fundamental mistake men make. They think the block is a message directed at the woman. It's not. The block is a message directed at yourself.
At yourself.
Yes. It is about enforcing your own biological peace. It is about signaling to your own nervous system that this chapter is closed, the unpredictable dopamine source is cut, and we are moving on to a sterile environment to heal.
Right. Let's use an analogy here. Let's say you're trying to quit gambling and you have a severe addiction to slot machines. It's ruining your life.
Okay. Now imagine having a slot machine plugged in right in the middle of your living room. The lights are flashing, the bells are ringing. You wouldn't just put a towel over it and say, I'm just going to prove how strong and unbothered I am by leaving it plugged in while I sit on the couch.
No, you'd go crazy.
That's not strength. That's torture. It's algorithmic conditioning. You throw the machine out the window, you unplug it and get it out of your house.
That is exactly the mechanism at play.
Yeah.
Intermittent reinforcement, which
Yeah.
is what a slot machine uses, and what a toxic or game-playing dynamic uses, is the hardest psychological loop to break.
Yeah.
You don't break it by testing your willpower every single day. You break it by removing the stimulus.
Removing the slot machine.
Yes.
Yeah.
It completely removes her access to your life and your access to hers.
Yeah.
You go your way, she goes hers. If she or anyone else thinks it's sassy, who cares?
You don't hear it anyway.
Exactly, because she is blocked. The fact that someone would complain about it to their friends or on the internet just proves that your attention was a resource they felt entitled to. When you take it away, they feel robbed. but your attention was never theirs to begin with.
It's an assertion of sovereignty over your own attention. So what does this all mean for what happens next?
Well, this is where it shifts.
You've walked away, you've cut off access, you've unplugged the slot machine, you're in the gym, you're focusing on yourself, you are completely, undeniably silent. What is happening on the other end?
Oh, this is the best part.
Because this is where the reality of the dating market really starts to hit home, and where a lot of these dynamics flip upside down. Let's talk about the regret of initiating and the illusion of finding better.
This is a crucial dynamic, heavily influenced by the technology of modern dating. Often, a woman might initiate a breakup, or she might pull away and friend zone a guy because she is operating under the illusion of infinite options.
Right, the apps.
The modern dating market, driven by the algorithms of dating apps, creates a severe paradox of choice. It gives the illusion that there is always someone better, taller, richer, or more exciting just one swipe away.
Yeah, there's always a new face.
A woman can open an app and have 500 matches in an hour. So she lets a good, stable man go, expecting to effortlessly upgrade.
The algorithmic inflation of dating value, it makes people think they have infinite purchasing power in the market.
That's exactly what it is.
But we see this play out time and time again in reality. The regret isn't immediate. At first, she feels liberated.
Right, she's having fun.
But months later, the anxiety skyrockets. I've heard so many stories, and guys see this all the time, of women who thought they were making the ultimate power move by breaking it off, and then a few months down the line, reality hits.
And it hits hard.
The guys on the apps only want hookups. The quote-unquote better guy turned out to be a player who won't commit, and suddenly they are completely overwhelmed by the chaos of the market.
Yeah.
They realize moving on isn't a linear path upward. They wish they could go back in time and undo the decision to dump the guy who actually cared about them and provided stability.
But here's the vital caveat. This realization only happens if the man has truly walked away.
Oh, wow.
If he's stuck around, she never has to face the consequence of her choice. And this raises an important point about the absolute danger of begging.
Yes, we need to talk about this.
When a man is dumped or rejected, the absolute worst thing he can do, biologically and socially, is beg, plead, or attempt to negotiate his worth.
Oh man, the negotiation. I can change. I'll do better. Just give me one more chance. Tell me what I did wrong and I'll fix it.
It's awful.
We've all seen it. Some of us have done it. It is agonizing to watch. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion.
It's agonizing, and it completely backfires. When you beg, you are confirming to her that she made the right choice to leave.
Ouch.
You are demonstrating low value. From an evolutionary psychology standpoint, weakness in a male partner triggers a revulsion response because a weak partner cannot protect or provide.
That makes total biological sense.
You are essentially telling her, you are above me in the hierarchy, and I am desperate to cling to you for my survival. If you do that, she will not respect you.
She can.
She cannot desire someone she pities. She will continue to play games, she'll string you along for validation, or worse, she will flaunt her new situation in front of you because she knows you won't do anything about it.
It's like you're giving her a safety net. She knows she can go out into the market, take huge risks, date absolute clowns who disrespect her, and if it all falls apart, good old reliable is sitting right there, unblocked, waiting for a text, ready to catch her.
Yes.
You become an insurance policy, and nobody is passionately attracted to their insurance policy.
Exactly, but when you walk away silently, when you don't fight her on it, that disrupts her entire script.
Because it's not what she expects.
She expects you to be broken up about it. She expects the texts. When you aren't there, when you just say, oh, okay, I wish you the best and disappear, it creates a massive void.
Yeah.
And when a man uses that void to build himself up, when he starts looking good, making moves, leveling up his career, looking like new money, it triggers intense FOMO, fear of missing out.
Think about it like the stock market. It's like she held shares in a stock, looked at the current valuation, decided it wasn't growing fast enough, and sold it right before it boomed.
That's a great comparison.
Now she's mad at the company. She looked at you, evaluated your worth, and decided to sell. Then you walk away, put the work in, your value skyrockets, and she's sitting there looking at the ticker tape thinking, wait a minute, I own those shares. I was in on the ground floor.
That is a perfect mechanism-driven analogy. She realizes she cannot reap the dividends of your hard work, your level up energy, or your success because she abandoned the investment.
Right.
And that is a bitter pill to swallow. She thought the grass was greener, But she found out the hard way it was just artificial turf, and meanwhile, he built an estate.
But I know exactly what the guy listening to this is thinking, because it's a terrifying leap of faith. He's thinking, if I walk away completely, if I don't double text, if I go completely silent, she'll just forget about me entirely. Out of sight, out of mind.
That's the primary fear.
What do you say to that fear? Because it feels so real in the moment.
If a person's attachment to you is so fragile that they completely forget you exist the moment you stop actively chasing them, then they never valued you to begin with.
Yeah, that's true.
They were going to toss you away anyway.
Yeah.
Silence doesn't make someone forget you. Silence forces them to sit with their own thoughts. It removes the distractions.
Yeah.
When you are constantly texting, arguing, or trying to prove your worth, you are giving them energy. You are allowing them to externalize their frustration onto you, which helps them avoid self-reflection. When you remove yourself, they have to actually process the loss. If there was any genuine connection there, the silence is what amplifies it, not the noise. The void creates the space for curiosity and regret to grow.
That is incredibly profound. Silence amplifies the connection. The noise just smothers it. You can't miss someone who won't go away.
You really can.
And, this dynamic of walking away is not just happening in individual breakups anymore. It's happening on a macro level across the entire dating market.
Oh, it's a massive trend.
Men are looking at the landscape, looking at the map, and they are actively choosing to stay single. And it is completely shifting the socioeconomic power dynamics of dating. Let's explore the economics of being single for modern men.
This is a massive, observable shift in behavioral trends. If you look at social media podcasts or just talk to people in major cities, there's a massive amount of discourse being created by women in their late 20s and 30s complaining about the dating pool.
We see the videos all the time.
Right. They are frustrated because they want to settle down, they want the husband, the family, the commitment, but they are finding that the men in the dating pool seemingly only want casual situationships, or they prefer to stay completely single.
Right. There's this perceived massive imbalance. The narrative is always, where are all the good men who want to commit? Why is everyone afraid of commitment?
Yeah.
And the men, meanwhile, are essentially saying, I'm good, thanks. I'll just stay at my place, work on my business, and play golf.
To understand this from an objective standpoint, we have to look at the financial and energetic reality of modern dating. For a lot of men, dating operates as a tax on their resources.
A dating tax.
Yes, a tax on their time, their money, and their peace of mind. Men are not complaining in mass numbers about being single because, practically speaking, there is very little downside for a modern man who has his life together, has his own friends, and has purpose.
Wait, let me push back here. Society always tells us that men are the ones who are desperately lonely.
Right, that's the old script.
The traditional narrative is that men need a relationship to civilize them, to keep them healthy, that a single man is just a miserable bachelor eating cold beans out of a can in a messy apartment. You're saying the data and the behavior show men aren't actually complaining.
I'm saying that capable men who are building their lives have realized that peace is far more valuable than a chaotic, high-maintenance relationship.
Okay, that makes sense.
When you factor in modern dating expectations, a man is often still expected to pay for the dates, provide the entertainment, initiate the romance, and deal with the emotional turbulence of getting to know someone. Historically, the trade-off for that provision was very clear.
Right. Historically, the idea was he gets a dedicated partnership, support, a family structure, someone managing the household while he provides the resources. It was a symbiotic economic unit.
Exactly. But we are talking about the modern market, which brings us to what analysts often call the entitlement gap.
The entitlement gap.
Yes, we observe a dynamic today where the historical expectations of men to protect and provide are still strictly enforced, but the historical reciprocation is often viewed as outdated or oppressive.
Right.
You have a situation where some modern participants in the dating market have been conditioned to believe they are the prize simply for existing. They don't view a man paying rent, fixing the car, or buying groceries as providing, because as the logic goes, the man would be doing that for himself anyway.
Oh, I've seen this exact argument play out. It's like, if he pays the mortgage on the house we live in, he's not doing that for me. He's building his own equity. So why should I be grateful? I'm an independent person. I shouldn't have to cook or clean just because he pays the bills.
Yes, that exact argument.
It's a fascinating reframing of shared resources.
It's a reframing that entirely negates the foundational aspects of male provision. Those contributions are completely taken for granted.
Yeah.
So when a person, particularly as they hit their 30s, comes to the dating table with a massive checklist of demands. He needs to make 6 figures. He needs to be 6 feet tall. He needs to plan lavish dates, pay for everything, and accommodate my lifestyle. But they fail to bring any reciprocal energy, men notice.
They bring a list of demands, but absolutely zero, what can I do for you to make your life easier? Energy.
Precisely. If a relationship is supposed to be a partnership, men are simply asking a basic economic question. What is the ROI, the return on investment here?
Right, what am I getting back?
Smart men have simply adjusted to the game. They refuse to be manipulated by complaints about the dating pool being trash. They realize that bringing someone into their life who doesn't offer peace, support, and genuine mutual benefit is actually a massive downgrade to their current lifestyle.
Wow.
So they opt out. They choose the gym, their career, their hobbies, and their peace. It is a logical market correction.
It's essentially an economic boycott of a bad market, but let's bring it down to the ground level. If men are pulling back and protecting their energy, what does the actual day-to-day dating landscape look like when you do try to engage?
It's tricky.
Because obviously, guys still want to date, they still want to meet women, they still want connection. But the landscape is a minefield of wasted time.
It is, and the traps are numerous. One of the most common dynamics men encounter today is what we could call the never had a boyfriend trap. This is a very specific behavioral pattern.
Yes. Let's unpack this one, because guys fall for this constantly. You see this all the time with younger women, say a 24 or 25-year-old. She will get on TikTok, or she'll be on a first date, complaining nearly in tears, saying she hates dating apps, guys only want to hook up, she just wants a nice guy to take her on a proper date, and she has never had a real committed boyfriend.
It sounds heartbreaking.
Right. The nice guy hears this, and his hero instinct kicks in. He thinks, oh, she's a victim of these toxic men. I will be her knight in shining armor. I'll treat her right. I'll be the one to finally show her what a real man is.
And that's the mistake.
Because then, in the very next breath, or maybe a few dates later, she casually admits to having had multiple, multi-year situationships.
This is a critical distinction that men need to understand about modern dating psychology.
Yeah.
The situationship is rarely an accident. Women willingly enter into these dynamics with men who have made it abundantly clear they are not committing.
Really?
Yes. Why? Because they are highly attracted to these specific, often out-of-reach men, and they operate under the conversion illusion.
The conversion illusion. Explain the psychology behind that, because I think a lot of guys don't understand why a woman would stay with a guy who treats her like an option.
It's rooted in hypergamy and the biological imperative to secure the highest status mate possible. The conversion illusion is the belief that if she just hangs around long enough, gives him enough physical intimacy, shows him how cool and low maintenance she is, she can convert this non-committal high-status guy into boyfriend material.
Oh, wow. So she knows he's a player.
Absolutely. She wasn't looking for a quote-unquote nice guy to take her on a date. She was actively trying to lock down a guy who was fundamentally out of her reach for commitment.
That makes so much sense.
When the conversion fails, when he eventually ghosts her, or definitively tells her he just wants to keep things casual, she plays the victim. She says, I've never had a boyfriend, entirely omitting the fact that she spent the last 3 years voluntarily acting as a placeholder for men who didn't want her as a girlfriend.
Boom. She chose the chaos because she wanted the prize. So for the guy listening, the takeaway is do not fall into the savior role when you hear this complaint. She chose those situationships.
Exactly.
But here is another incredibly common frustration guys run into when they are actually trying to navigate the apps or texting, and it's absolutely maddening. Let's call it the perfect chat ghosting.
This is an epidemic in modern digital dating, and it drives men crazy because it seems to defy all logic.
Right. Let's walk through the scenario. A guy matches with a girl on an app. The vibe is amazing. They are texting back and forth for 5 or 6 days.
Things are going great.
The banter is sharp, they're laughing, they seem to share the same values. She's sending long paragraphs, he's ticking all her boxes. The guy is thinking, wow, this is rare, I finally found someone cool, I should probably ask her out soon.
Naturally.
And then he wakes up on day 6, goes to check his phone, and she has completely unmatched him. Ghosted, everything is gone, no explanation.
It leaves men completely bewildered. The interaction was overwhelmingly positive. Why run away?
Exactly. And this is exactly why you cannot just aimlessly text for a week. Guys think they are building a deep connection. But in the modern attention economy, you are just becoming a digital pen pal.
Yep.
Think about it like a video game. She's getting the dopamine hit from unlocking the achievement, the match, the banter, the validation that you like her, but she has zero intention of actually playing the level, which is going on the real world date.
Right.
You need a method to actually escalate the interaction and create real world attraction. You can't just float in the texting ether hoping she asks you out.
I agree completely. Having a system is paramount. The reason the 5-day chat fails is that it lacks escalation. The momentum stalls.
Yeah.
A woman's interest has a very short half-life on dating apps. If you don't transition from the app to a phone call, from a text to a definitive date set up quickly and confidently, she gets bored, distracted by a new match, or simply uses you for conversational validation.
And this is where having a structured roadmap makes all the difference. Some men prefer learning through a structured program to understand these mechanics, and stealth attraction is one example of that.
That's a good tool.
If someone wants a more structured roadmap for how to handle these exact moments, that's actually something stealth attraction does well. I like that it gives guys a step-by-step framework instead of leaving them to guess how to move from friendly texting to actual dates and how to escalate without coming off as desperate.
That's the key.
It's about knowing the exact pivot points in a conversation.
Having a structured framework, whether you learn it through experience or a resource like that, prevents you from becoming just another situationship statistic or a casualty of the perfect chat ghosting.
Exactly.
It shifts you from being an entertainer, someone just providing free dopamine on their phone, to being a man who leads the interaction.
Yeah.
You are essentially saying, I enjoy talking to you, but my time is valuable, so we are moving this to the real world.
It's about leadership. And that idea, having a system, holding your ground, leading the interaction, and flat out refusing to be used for free attention, it doesn't just apply to the early stages of dating apps or texting.
Oh, it applies everywhere.
This mindset extends to every single phase of a relationship, even the very end of a decades-long marriage.
Oh, this is a great example.
Which brings us to one of the most fascinating examples of extreme boundaries in human behavior. Let's talk about the viral story of the 23-year ex-husband.
This scenario perfectly encapsulates everything we've been discussing about boundaries, entitlement, and the absolute necessity of walking away from broken dynamics.
I'm going to set the scene because it is so incredibly vivid, and it sparked a massive debate when it went viral. A woman leaves her husband of 23 years. They're divorced. The relationship is entirely over.
Right.
She's in the garage of her house, struggling to carry 15 heavy bags of groceries, gallons of milk, all the heavy stuff all at once. Right at that moment, her ex-husband pulls up in the driveway to drop off their kids.
Perfect timing.
He sits there, watches her struggling with the groceries, and does absolutely nothing. He just stands there and watches her.
Wow.
Later, she takes to the internet absolutely fuming. She talks about how she doesn't need his help anyway because she's strong and independent. She lifted all 15 bags herself, but her arms hurt. And underneath the false bravado, you can hear how deeply, fiercely angry she is that he didn't step in and do the physical labor for her.
The reality of this scenario is brutal, but it is necessary to analyze from a behavioral standpoint. Let's look at the psychology of what we call broken leadership.
Okay, lay it out.
She initiated the separation. She wanted independence. She no longer wanted to be under his leadership, his authority, or in alignment with him as a partner.
Right.
Yet she subconsciously and quite visibly still expected the benefits of his protection, his leadership, and his physical labor. She wanted him to be a husband on a part-time, as-needed basis.
Right. Her mentality was, I don't want to be married to you. I don't want to be accountable to you. But you should still carry the heavy stuff when my arms are tired because you're a man and I'm a woman.
Exactly. It's selective traditionalism.
Yeah.
And the husband, by standing there and doing nothing, is finally respecting himself.
He's holding the line.
He is enforcing the boundary.
Yeah.
He is physically demonstrating that the contract is void.
But let me play devil's advocate here because I guarantee some guys would hear that story and think, come on, man, just help the mother of your kids carry the milk.
Yeah.
You're right there. It takes 2 minutes. Aren't you just being petty and vindictive by watching her struggle?
It is not about the groceries. It is about the precedent.
It's a precedent.
The relationship dynamic has been shattered. When a relationship is broken to that degree, when the vows are dissolved and the alignment is gone, it is like a shattered mirror. You cannot put it back together and expect it to reflect perfectly. You cannot glue the shards together and say, well, we'll just be friends who do favors for each other. Smart men know that when the core dynamic is fundamentally broken, you have to scrap the situation entirely.
You can't just pick and choose the parts of the marriage you like an a la carte menu.
Precisely. If a woman removes herself from your leadership and your life, You must remove your resources, your labor, and your protection.
That's powerful.
That is the true cost of independence. The ex-husband isn't being petty. He is acknowledging reality. The reality is, I am no longer your husband, therefore I no longer perform the duties of a husband.
Right.
If someone is playing games, or in this case trying to extract resources without offering partnership, you cut it off at the source. Protect yourself.
And it makes her furious. She was so angry she had to go tell the whole world about it on the internet. Why? Because she realized she couldn't use him anymore. The boundary was absolute.
She felt the loss of the asset.
He walked away from the game, and she realized the consequences of her own actions. He forced her to experience the reality of the independence she asked for.
Which brings us full circle.
Mm-hmm.
People might complain when you ignore their games. They might call you names or shame you when you block them. And they might act outraged when you refuse to carry the groceries after a divorce.
Yeah.
But what they really hate is realizing you have this strength to enforce your own boundaries. They hate the realization that your world does not revolve around them and that you are perfectly capable of walking away.
So what is the big takeaway from all of this? If we boil all these scenarios down, the biological heartbreak, the addiction pathways, the blocking, the FOMO, the situationships, the groceries, what is the core lesson for the listener?
The core lesson is that you cannot negotiate genuine desire, and you cannot build a healthy, respectful dynamic by tolerating nonsense.
No, you can't.
Your attention is your most valuable asset in the modern dating market. When you freely give it to people who are playing games, stringing you along, or disrespecting your time, you are devaluing yourself. The ultimate power move isn't a clever text or a revenge body designed to make someone jealous. The ultimate power move is the quiet, resolute enforcement of your own boundaries. It is the willingness to walk away and never look back, because you know your own worth.
And that ties perfectly back to where we started. Imagine doing everything right, the nice guy routine, the endless patience, the constant availability, and still feeling like you're losing.
Because you are losing.
You're losing because the game itself is rigged against the overly accommodating man. So I want to leave you with a final thought, something to really chew on as you navigate this wild, modern dating landscape.
Let's hear it.
Next time you feel that desperate cortisol-driven urge to double text, to explain yourself one more time, or to prove you're the good guy after someone pulls away or disrespects you, stop. Take a breath. Unplug the slot machine.
Unplug the machine.
And ask yourself this. What if the strongest, most magnetic form of attraction you could possibly build in that moment isn't found in the perfect words, but in your absolute, unwavering willingness to simply walk away?
A powerful question to end on.
Keep your boundaries sharp, guys. See you out there.